Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of what is it we're doing? Oh, yes, astrology now. Too many hats. I've got to put the right one on. And today we're going to be talking about the new moon in Leo. But first, we're going to talk about all the energy that's been happening lately. And so I'm just going to hand it straight over to you, Babula, and you can set it up for us, okay?
Okay. Well, I just wanted to, make reference to these. This is a very big time, this period through August. And many people, myself included, experienced this previous week. We're recording this on the Monday and the new moon's on Wednesday. This week just gone. It's been a huge week for many, many people, just jam-packed with so much going on. And I found myself using the term curveballs a lot. Like that was the word that just kept coming out of my mouth, just curveballs, things that would keep happening that were not part of the plan. And that was my experience of a lot of last week. And so it's all connected to this strong Leo time that we're in. And the Venus retrograde, the Venus star point that was on Sunday yesterday, and the squares to Uranus from all of that. And the new moon has its same energy of this gathering of energies in the sign of Leo, some strong energies, all in a square to Uranus. I often call Uranus the great awakener, but he's also the great disruptor. He's like, and the bringer of chaos and mayhem and
yeah. Actually, where did you go?
That's strange. My ring light just went out, and I've got a message about
your camera's gone. There's that great disruptor.
Okay, isn't that extraordinary?
Yeah.
We'll keep going.
Well, that's strange, isn't it?
So for no apparent reason, the ring light just went out, and at the same time, my camera dropped out. And so I just clicked on the camera again, and it's on. So I'll leave the ring light alone. It might be a bit touchy. Uranus, the ruler of technology and disruption.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's right. And sudden disruption that causes chaos and instability, and what often comes with that is significant levels of stress, because if we're already in a mode where we're dealing with a lot and managing a lot or juggling a lot, and then these other disruptions come in on top of that, it is a lot for the nervous system, the brain, the body to cope with.
Because Uranus rules the nervous system anyway, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
So we can have lots of anxiety.
Yes, so it can get very stressful, very anxious, very overwhelming, crazy. Like even, I had to go somewhere on Saturday that was important for me to go, and it meant I had to go up the highway.
Oh, it was congested.
And it was a beautiful run through until the last half hour, and it just stopped.
Yes.
There must have been an accident further up ahead, and I was on time, and then it made me late. And it's just, every day it was like that. And what next? And what next? And
I was going to say, it's like an intersection, isn't it, of our energy path that we've chosen to go on. But these things keep crossing over.
That's right. And it's like a convergence of things that all come in all at the same time.
Yeah.
That weren't in our plan, like have it all planned out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if anyone's been having those types of experiences, let us know in the comments, because we'd love to hear about how your last week went.
Absolutely, because I was hearing this from a lot of people, and I ran a workshop with my two friends on Sunday yesterday, and I asked the group, and virtually every hand went up like, oh my God, what a week it's been.
Interesting.
So now everybody won't have experienced that. It depends how these energies hit our chart.
Yeah.
They were definitely hitting my chart big time.
Yeah. It was mine was very quiet, laying low. Yeah. Quiet, peaceful, calm, flowing.
There you go. That's right.
So it just depends how it plays out in our own chart.
That's right. And so these same energies are still with us as we come into the new moon, because the new moon has got this stamp of Uranus and many other things all over it.
And actually, just before we get onto that, we've just come out of the Lionsgate portal too, haven't we? That's
Absolutely.
I think it was about 2 weeks, which finished on the weekend. I think, did it? What?
Yes, it did on the weekend.
Yes. Yeah. So the idea, the understanding behind that is that, you know, we have this Sirius lines up with the 3 stars in Orion's belt, which align with the pyramids in Egypt.
That's right.
And when then and the sun, and when Sirius comes up, it activates that whole connection. And so these new which is that we have supposedly have an upgrade with new energetic codes being imprinted on us through that whole system, you know, with the sun shining down. That's why I'm bringing it up, because it relates to Leo, and that's why it was called the Leo, the Lion's Gate. So I'm just wondering, did you notice any new? Have you feel things stirring inside of you through that experience?
Absolutely, definitely. New kind of awarenesses of things that I perhaps might have touched on before, but I could just feel things opening up, and expansion of consciousness in different ways, and realizations and discoveries in so many different ways. And Leo is quite a strong energy in my chart. And you know, Sirius is often referred to, isn't it, as our spiritual sun. And our sun itself, the sun of our solar system, actually has a very important and potent spiritual energy and connection to us. And it rules Leo, and it's in Leo, in its sign of its own natural domain and power. And then on top of that, even though this gate occurs at the same time every year, this time it had so much extra energy going on with it, because at the same time Venus is retrograde in Leo, forming a very important Venus star point. And the black moon Lilith was right in amongst the mix as well. And all of that is square to Uranus. Now, that combination does not usually all happen at once.
So let's just break that down a little bit for people who don't understand astro speak. So just put it into, if you can, into simpler words about how that comes together and what energies it draws together.
Yeah, so I will, because I just wanted to kind of put the whole thing in that short sort of description. So Venus normally spends about 3 to 4 weeks in a sign. Yep. In early June, if my mind is working properly, she moved into Leo and would normally just move through quite quickly. But no, this time she's here for 4 months.
And if I could just interject, Venus represents the things we love and our values, money, those sorts of things.
Yes, and relationships, the heart. She is the love principle, the feminine principle of love. I want to bring this in because I think this is very relevant. Venus is the brightest star in our sky. She is the light. She is the goddess Inanna, Ishtar, Isis.
Yeah.
You know, that very strong connection to the feminine. Yes, there you go. The goddess. And in Leo, the sign ruled by the sun, sign that holds a lot of light, we have Venus, the love light of the heart, now journeying, doing a very important journey through Leo for 4 months, not just 3 weeks, but for 4 months, and forming this conjunction while she's retrograde with the sun in full power in Leo during the Lion's Gate. I mean, that in itself is phenomenal. So this Venus, and so when Venus is retrograde, which occurs every 20 months anyway in different signs, it often brings up for people issues around love and relationships, values, self-worth, self-love, partners, ex-partners, ex-lovers, ex-husbands, ex-wives, you know, all this stuff. heartbreaks, our story and relationship dynamic around love. When she's in Leo, the sign that rules the heart in medical astrology, the physical heart, Venus, the heart chakra, the energy of love, we're in heart territory here.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. And our relationship to beauty and an expression. Leo's all about creative self-expression. What wants to be expressed through our heart?
Yes.
And so that it comes through and it's been seen in words, in imagery, in the way we, just even in the clothes we wear.
Yes. Yeah.
How we design, decorate our homes, all sorts of ways.
Yeah.
That need for expression that Leo has, and leadership and courage of the lion heart.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on here. Now, in addition to that, the Black Moon Lilith, well, how long have we got to talk about that?
Yeah.
Just to give the essence of it, she moved into Leo in January and is in Leo for around 9 to 10 months through to, I think it's around early October. But she just happened to be in a place in Leo joining up with this Venus retrograde star point conjunct the sun, and also on this new moon we're about to talk about. So if I can just visually show that, there's the Black Moon Lilith. This is the new moon chart on Wednesday evening with the moon and the sun, which is the new moon, and there's Venus retrograde.
Yes.
So Venus and the Black Moon Lilith and the moon are the three principal feminine points in the astrology chart.
Yes.
They're all together in Leo, a masculine energy sign ruled by the sun. So there's so many ways we could speak about it and look at it,
Yeah, well, I'm actually getting the image of Joan of Arc coming up.
Absolutely. She had Leo rising.
Absolutely. Like, the sword, the female, and the horse, and going to battle, and, like leading the troops, all this sort of stuff.
She was like 14 or something.
I know. It's amazing. So,
amazing.
That's what I'm getting.
Leo rising, the commander of the army.
Yes. Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Phenomenal stuff. So there's so much in this around what do we show of ourselves, what do we not show of ourselves?
Yes.
How much dare we show up?
Yeah.
Calls us to show up.
Yeah. And I think it's about because I was thinking this morning about the sun itself. It's on our earthly stage for all in the world to look at openly every day, and that's sort of like a sense of that Leo energy, isn't it? It doesn't cower, doesn't lack confidence, doesn't hide itself. It just basks in its own glory.
That's right.
Its own energy, which sort of flows out to spark the energy in us.
That's right.
For life and creativity in everyone and everything on the planet.
Yes, and completely unapologetic.
Absolutely, yeah.
And there are forces that are trying to block out the sun and so on, but that's another issue. But that sense of the sun as a source of spiritual light and power is very, very real. And so it's a very powerful time right now with so much going on in this sign. And the lion, I have a very strong resonance and connection with lion energy, and just that whole energy around lion and just cats. I mean, Egypt is very connected to the sign of Leo.
Yes.
And look at the lion goddess and all the imagery around cats and lions that have come through Egypt.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Sekhmet, the lion goddess, and you see this imagery all through Egypt, iconography and so on. Even the symbol of the Ankh is it's slightly different, but very, very similar to the symbol we have for Venus.
Yeah.
So there's so much. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, so if we bring that back down into our practical reality.
Mm.
Which I love to be up there too, but I'm just trying to,
Yeah.
for people's lives.
Bring me back, Cheryl. Bring me back.
Oh, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. I just want to be
No, you're not.
I'm
No, you're not. No, it's
just
great.
being practical though, like you said before, what inner the other thing is what inner messages are in our heart that are ready to share with the world.
Yes.
And with the heart, it's like, when you get to the heart of things, in whatever they may be, the sun rules the heart, the human heart,
Yes.
but also the heart of things, the heart of the matter of whatever it is that we're dealing with,
Yes.
that sort of thing. I sort of connect with that because that's where it goes, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's really beautiful. And with all this energy of light, I see even there, Venus is no longer visible in the night sky right now because she's in this retrograde dance with the sun. And for a period of about 10, 12 days or so, she's no longer visible. So it's like she's entered a kind of a shadow realm, you could say. So I think in the light of what you're saying, I think a lot, and I'm experiencing this, a lot of stuff is coming up from the unconscious to be seen in the light. To shed a light on it.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is the black moon, Lilith.
Yeah.
Venus is not visible. When she reemerges again in a week or so, she will reappear as the morning star. She has been the evening star for now. So there's this whole process of transformation that's going on and rebirthing,
Yeah. Just to give people a practical understanding, another practical understanding, sorry.
Good. That's great.
And I'm happy to share this about my own life. And this, Babula, that I've struggled with a mother who has mental health problems and has not been the easiest person to get along with. But the last week, just a few days ago, actually, I was with her, and she's actually in aged care now. And she was really nice to me. And because of that, the dynamic that was set up between us that day, it was like all the heaviness that I felt from our difficult relationship sort of went to the side. And it was revealed to me that at the heart of our relationship, for me, is deep compassion for her, which relates to love.
That's right.
Yeah. And I just thought, gosh, I haven't seen that for such a long time. I haven't felt it for such a long time, but that's really there, right at the heart of it. Yeah.
Yes, under all that mental health disturbance in her at a soul level.
Yeah. So that was a great awakening for me.
Very beautiful. Yeah.
And the timing was
it'll be
interesting.
like that. And it doesn't mean it'll be like that next time you see her, but you've seen something, haven't you?
Yeah. And that's the sort of thing about getting to the heart of the matter, or of all matters in our life that are, difficult, turbulent, worrying, tiresome, stressful, those sorts of things
That's right.
But what's, if we can push those emotions aside, what is it underneath that we really feel?
Yep, that's right. That's right. So, and similarly, I had a very challenging week, and the stress was building, and I had this, big, beautiful workshop on Sunday. But when everybody arrived and we began, my heart opens, and and we just had the most glorious, beautiful day. And all of that stuff just all fell away in that space,
Yeah. It's wonderful, isn't it, when that happens?
That's right. So at the heart of everything, absolutely right, at the heart of it all, there is this principle and energy of love. That's right. So yes, it's a lot. And then, of course, the other piece to it, so here's all the Leo energy, and over here is a very, very close square from Uranus in Taurus. Very tight squares to all these things going on in Leo. And you see, there's layers and layers and layers of meaning and so on in all of this. You think of Taurus, it's actually ruled by the planet Venus. And so Uranus is in this Venus sign squaring Venus while she's, doing this dance with the sun and the new moon. So there's just so much going on around what we value, what we love, what's important to us, what's not, what can be discarded, really honing in on what's really important and what's really of value and what we really love.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so in that, some things may just have to go.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Yeah.
might be making choices,
Yes. I was actually having that conversation this morning with, if I had to let go of things, what would I let go of? And I put them in priority. Well, this would go, that would go, that would be last to go because I really value that. But
that's
I was
right.
having this sort of mental distillation process,
Yes.
about, well, what else could go? Because, just like to have some time for that creative expression.
Exactly. And so I think that's what's coming up. What are we really longing for? What is our heart longing for?
Mm.
And, at the end of the day, yesterday, we all drew a card, and my suggestion was to really tune into what is your heart's deepest longing right now, and what might this card be wanting to share with you about that? So I think that's at the heart of it, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
That's right. That's
And
right.
I love that phrase. I've heard it used many times through the years, like in my heart of hearts.
That's it.
The things that we hold so deeply and so valued.
That's right, in the heart, at the deepest place. And when Venus is making this important conjunction with the sun, forming a star point on the 5-pointed star, which is an 8-year cycle, that's just so magical in itself.
People have to come and do your workshop because I've done that one and it was really good.
Oh, it's so interesting. It's so interesting. And it's like when Venus is conjunct the sun, she's in the heart of the sun. That's one of the ways we speak of it. And so she is, her energy and the energy of the sun are fused, and there's an exchange of information and codes. Particularly for Venus, she's receiving light codes from the sun, from the spiritual sun, you see. And so she's hidden from view now. She's busy. She's got things going on, right?
She's got a bun in the oven.
Yeah, and
it's cooking.
she's being, impregnated by this new information. And so this is coming up for people in relationship.
Yes.
A lot of stuff is coming up for people.
Yeah.
And they may not see clearly until she starts to become visible again, but transformed now as the morning star. The first body to be seen in the sky in the morning before the sun comes up. She has been the evening star. The sun would drop down and there she'd still be in the western sky.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's this whole and someone I know is going through a painful process around relationship, and I was able to share with her that this is absolutely the territory we're in.
Yeah.
And that when Venus becomes visible again, something will shift. And then when she's finally no longer retrograde and then finally moves out of Leo, we're all going to be seeing a lot quite differently. Something around our values would have shifted and become more clear, I think.
I was just thinking the other thing too is if for people who are in relationships or even with friendships,
yes,
we might find that we see things more clearly and we go, actually, I really care for this person more deeply than I realized. So there can be that, like I had that with my mother, but with other people, it could be their partners or their siblings or their children or something like that. Anything that we relate to, we go, wow, I really actually do get, I really connect with that.
that's right. And Venus governs women. Venus is the planet that represents women and the feminine principle. So I have to also make it very clear that I'm also referring to the feminine principle in men. But astrologically speaking, in a simple way, she represents women So our women friends, our blood sisters, our soul sisters, our daughters, our granddaughters, right?
Yeah.
The women in our lives, which is true for all of us.
Yeah.
And so, yes, there can be a lot going on in all those relationship dynamics with female people, right?
Yeah. So then we bring the new moon into
So the
that.
new moon, yes. So
Yes.
so the new moon, so the 13th Sunday yesterday was a very important day. And the new moon occurs on the 16th, which on the east coast of Australia is around 7:40 p.m. on Wednesday evening. And the new moon occurs at 23 degrees and 17 minutes of Leo. Now, some of you that may be a significant degree, or around that degree may be significant in your chart. So it will be activated by this new moon. And, it's an interesting thing, the juxtaposition of this birth of a new Venus cycle, Venus retrograde conjunct the sun on the 13th, is the birth of a new 19-month Venus cycle, and followed 2 or 3 days later by the new moon in Leo. So there's a very strong sense of birthing something new through the energy of Leo and the lion, right? And the solar principle, the solar logos, the sun. So there's a lot in that.
Yeah.
And people will relate to that in very different ways, particularly if Leo's a signature in their chart, as it is for me. And it's a strong energy in many people in my family, siblings, parents, children, grandchildren. It just keeps, Leo here, Leo there.
Well, you've also said in the past too, it relates to the English monarchy. They have strong Leo placement.
Oh, absolutely. And monarchy in general.
Oh, general, yeah.
You will find in royal families, it's quite unusual to see a chart of anyone significant in royal families who doesn't have Leo as a strong statement. Now, just while we're on that, as a little curious point.
Go for it.
Because I used to work with the charts for years when I ran an astrology school, because they're brilliant examples of astrology at work, and we have all the correct data. When Harry and William were born, what struck me as being highly unusual, neither of them have Leo statements.
Interesting. Well,
that's a marked change.
Yes. And Harry's living that out, isn't he?
Absolutely.
I wonder what's going to happen to William.
Exactly. So, and I thought, well, either something radically is going to change with the monarchy. Will it mean the end? I don't know. Or will it be that if and when William does become the king, that maybe he'll do it in a very, very different way, or maybe the whole thing of the monarchy will come to an end. We don't know, but I found that extremely interesting.
Yes, yeah.
So symbolically for us all, while we're in a Leo period like this, and for those who have Leo as a signature, what does this mean in terms of our own sovereignty and our own regal magnificence? Dare I use that kind of language?
Yes.
But we're in Leo territory.
Yeah.
How are we showing up as being a true sovereign self?
Yes, sort of self-confident and charismatic and proud, I guess.
And owning who you are.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
Very. So it's a very powerful time around all of these things. Now, the square to Uranus is the agent of change, of new conscious, of radical shifts and disruptions. It's by nature quite chaotic, but it's always about breaking something wide open so that this new energy of cosmic consciousness can come through. It's big. But the fact that it's a major factor in this very Leonine lion period is just like, it's no accident that all these, it's a confluence, a convergence of things all coming together Same time. So it's been very big.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I was reading, I think it was in, is it Martha Pottinger's book, that what the key words for Leo one was risk taking. And I'm thinking that might be because they can be overconfident, you know, and because all these things you've got the don't want to say shadow, but the extreme of it.
Yes.
Because people do need to be confident, but if we're overconfident, then we will take risks, and that could be a problem.
Yes, it's an interesting comment, because I've always thought of Aries as more the risk taker.
Yeah.
But I think with Leo, it can be, it might seem like that to other people, but you're absolutely right about Leo as an extreme expression is the overblown, bombastic ego.
Yes. Yeah, it can be. Yeah.
That's right. I mean, we all have ego. That's part
Yep.
of the story of incarnating in these bodies.
Yeah.
But in Leo, that can become so blown, like I am the magnificent and I'm more magnificent than everybody else.
Yes. Can be quite arrogant, can't it?
But it can be extremely arrogant and very bombastic, and, you know, lording it all over everybody else and seeing everyone else as much less significant.
Yeah. Can be quite dramatic too.
Oh, oh, yes. Love of drama. Absolutely.
Yeah. Drama queens. I want to say drama kings.
Drama kings, absolutely. And, you know, and we all enjoy a certain amount of drama. We talk about theatre as a drama.
Yeah.
You know, it's sort of larger than life, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, and I know people who've got some strong Leo placements, and I know of them, I should say, and they seem to have a natural instinct for good stage presence, and they can monopolize the limelight.
If
Can
you've
I
ever
say it like that?
have you ever seen Mick Jagger on stage? And
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, I mean, he's a Leo with about 5 or 6 planets in Leo.
Oh gosh.
And he's just a magnificent Leo display.
Yes.
Right?
He just does his thing, doesn't he?
Oh, completely.
Yes.
Completely.
Yes.
And the time I saw him, he'd disappear every 20 minutes or so, and the band would do a song, and he'd come out with another shirt, because his shirts were probably, you know, wet from sweat, because he just never stopped moving.
Yeah.
But every shirt with these silk, bright, single colors, purple, gold, pink, red, you know?
Oh, wow.
Like full Leo. I mean, I loved it because wow, there's a Leo on full display.
Yeah.
Certainly not hiding his light behind a bushel in any way.
No, no.
But, you know, it can also feel just too much and too overbearing. Maybe in a room with that energy, it would just overshadow everybody else, right?
Yeah. I've seen some people on the stage who I know are Leos, not stage, but in the public eye. And they seem to require that public adulation. It's important to them to get that. I don't know if you've noticed that too.
Yes.
But I think people like that can be used because they can be susceptible to flattery too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of, you know, psychological layers in all of that. But you know, you find anyone who does have any prominent role on the world stage, in any way, you'll usually see some strong Leo signature there.
Yes.
You know, sun, moon, ascendant, midheaven, going to you. In most cases, it's going to show up, you know, in the negative sense or in the really positive sense, you know. Yeah.
So I wonder if people who find it difficult to take compliments, are they lacking some Leo, do you think?
Maybe, or there might be something in the chart that points to there's a wound here. See, the wound of Leo is deep down desperately wanting to be seen and acknowledged, but also at the same time keep hiding, because it's, you know, see me, don't see me. That can be a wound. Or I'll do anything to get your attention is also coming from a wound.
Yes, yeah.
Right? Yes, so there's ways you can see that in the chart with the placement of certain planets that might be showing up in Leo, showing that there's a difficulty. here
Yes. Yeah.
from childhood, from previous lifetimes and so on.
So with the new moon, though, how does
Yeah.
that affect it?
Okay, so that's great. So the new moon, of course, is the moment of a birth of a new lunar cycle. So this lunar cycle for 4 weeks now has the stamp of everything we've been speaking about all over it.
Yeah.
So it's not just that this energy is going to be present for those days around the new moon. It's like this is now the cycle that we're coming into, and it's already been pretty full on.
Yeah.
So I think it's a period for us all to be really exploring these themes and these issues of, well, who am I? Who am I really? And what am I not living in myself? What's not being expressed? What's not coming through? There's so much around that for everyone, for women and for men. And what does leadership look like? And what does that look like in me? And, you know, just lots of issues there. So if we go on, I mean, there's also, all this is also forming trines to Eris, you know, the troublemaker goddess who, you know, throws a spanner in the works and exposes truths and so on. You know, she's in Aries. So she's, in fact, virtually all the planets except Jupiter and Saturn make some kind of contact to this new moon. There are trines, there are quincunxes, there's yods, there's so much going on.
Wow.
With most of the other planets to this new moon, again, just highlighting the significance and the power of this time. You know, it's one of the key times of the year, really. So, yeah, so it'd be interesting, you know, for anyone watching this to be really reflecting on that. And if you have a chart and know your chart, even to some extent, you know, locate where Leo is, you know, what house is it activating? You know, what's going on in that part of your life? And so, well, let's come to a very different energy, I think, before everyone's just feeling a bit burnt out from all that fire. I'm actually feeling quite hot now, just talking about it all.
That happens to me too.
It's heat. It's fire. You know, it's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I want to put the air conditioning on. So let's come to another energy now that's also relevant right now, that's a lot calmer, and it's a sign that follows on from Leo, and that is Virgo. So in the zodiac, in the sequence, after Leo, after we get to really develop a sense of identity and self, right? Virgo is the sign that's all about, it's so interesting. Virgo is quiet.
Yes.
It's even shy. You know, many Virgo people are very sensitive and quite shy in some. There's a humility that comes through Virgo.
It can be sober too, can't it? Quite sober.
Quite hardworking.
Yep.
Just quietly get on with the job.
Yes.
Yep. So the journey of the zodiac is so fascinating. You know, it's a whole story, a journey. So after all that radiance of Leo, it's like, yeah, after the applause, someone's got to take the rubbish out and do the dishes and do the washing, you know, and clean the toilet. Yep. Right? It's like back down to earth.
Yes, absolutely.
And someone's got to clean the theatre.
Get rid of that popcorn.
And get rid of all the popcorn and organize the office. And you know, it's that. So Virgo is more that humble, quiet energy of service. And so why I'm speaking of that is that so currently we have a coming together, a conjunction of Mercury and Mars in Virgo. And so Mercury is very strong in Virgo. It's on the new moon, it's at 19 degrees. Now that's important too, because Mercury is a ruler of the sign of Virgo. It's that analytical mind, sharp, clear, precise. wonderful analytical mind that turns itself to practical things because it's Virgo, right? So Mercury rules Gemini. That's just a very busy, curious mind. In Virgo, I have this knowledge and I translate it into skills to be of practical use.
Yes.
Virgo, right? Hands-on. Conjunct Mars, that dynamic, high energy, energy of go, keeping us all very busy, right? There's things to do.
Yes.
Day to day.
Oh, this makes me think of my childhood when I didn't have to do anything except go to school.
I know. I think about that lately too. I live with, young grandchildren, and I have a good life.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they have some things to do too, but when they're really young.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot to be done, and it's day to day, just the day to day nitty gritty stuff of running things, keeping things in order.
Yeah.
And even people who use the Leo energy in some way behind the scenes through Virgo, there's work to be done.
Yes. Yeah.
In order for that Leo to come forward and express its talents, its gifts, whatever it's doing. So we are in that Virgo energy is very active right now, and that can also contribute to health issues for people. On top of all this stress of everything that's been going on with these big energies moving, our digestive system can really be affected by all of this, and stress levels can escalate. So how do we monitor all that and manage our day-to-day lives so there's a bit of breathing space? And it's not always easy to do that.
That's right. And that digestive process is really a process. It's like processing not just what's going on in our body, but what we're putting into our body, but also what we're feeling. It's
right.
All goes through there. And yes.
That's right. And that's a Virgoan process, isn't it? To process all the data, the information as food goes into the body. The digestive system has a lot to do to sort that all out.
Yeah, I know a few Virgos, and they seem to be quite kinesthetic.
Yes.
And processing stuff through their bodies, and they'll intuit, strangely enough, they'll get information in the intellect, but then they'll intuit that information, but through their physical body.
Yes.
I find that amazing because they're an earth sign, I suppose, too.
That's exactly right. Yeah. It's an earth sign.
Yeah.
And it's a very finely tuned earth sign. People often don't see that because many people feel that Virgo and people with a lot of Virgo, they're very critical and nitpicking and so on. But it's just that it's a very, very finely tuned energy that's kind of programmed, if you like, to analyze things in a very particular, fine way. And Virgos are actually very sensitive people. So they're very sensitive to what's going on in their body. And to what they eat and how it affects them. There can be a lot of sensitivity in the gut and the digestive system, and the ailments that can arise from that.
Yes, yeah.
So I think that's an important part of the message during this time, with so many big energies moving through the Leo and the Uranus connection. How are we able to manage and monitor stress and overwork and food and digestion at the same time? How are we taking care of ourselves and our life and our day and our environment? It can all feel a bit overwhelming at times.
I do find that when the moon's in Virgo, I tend to go, okay, this is it, clean and green diet now.
Yes.
Get rid of the bits and pieces that you're eating on the sidelines. You don't want that. Clean and green.
Yes, that's absolutely true. We feel it, don't we? We respond to this change of energies.
Yeah.
And so, Mercury and Mars are there, bringing support. But remember, when the sun leaves Leo, in about the following week, it will go into Virgo.
Mm.
And that is, the Venus will still be doing her journey through Leo, but the Sun, the ruler of Leo, will move into Virgo and turn our focus more and more to that energy of purification and cleaning things up.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
people who've been thinking about going on a diet, that's the time to do it.
Oh, it absolutely is,
Yes.
particularly if it's health related.
Yes, yeah.
To clean things up, clean up things in your office, in your home, in your life, in the body. Yeah, it will just start to happen naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of astrology for me, is I see how I see things happening in my life, and I get out the little app on my phone that I've got and look at what's in my transiting chart and go, oh, that's why.
That's right.
You're doing it before you actually become consciously aware of it.
That's right. That happens to me a lot. Something's happening and then later I'll check.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Of course. That's right.
Yeah, it is amazing.
It is. It's really amazing. And of course, let's not forget that there's quite a lot of planets retrograde currently. 5.
Wow.
Including Venus. So Pluto is retrograde. Pluto's retrograde in Capricorn. Saturn is retrograding back through those early degrees of Pisces. Neptune is retrograding at the last degrees of Pisces. So that adds to the sense of overwhelm and sensitivity for people. People might be finding like, I'm just so overwhelmed, I just burst into tears.
Wow.
Just because there is a lot happening. Chiron is retrograde in Aries and Venus is retrograde in Leo. And what I wanted to say before, and then I forgot, as I do, about Virgo, is that Mercury's in Virgo, and she would normally move through quickly in about 3 weeks. But he's going to be in Virgo for quite a while, about, is it 3 months? I can't remember. Because he's going to go retrograde in Virgo.
Okay.
Right. So we'll come to that next time. No, actually it's in this cycle. On the 24th of August, he'll get to 21, almost 22. Is it 19 now? So he's starting to slow down already. We'll turn retrograde and go back through Virgo. This is a great time to be really working through what's working and what's not working.
Yes. Yeah.
It's that phrase came to me. It's what one of my online art teachers always says, work with what's working and let go of what's not working.
Yes.
Right. And I think that's great for this, get really clear and quite precise about what's not working.
Yes.
Figure out what you're going to do about that and do some eliminating,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I like it.
And it can get very fine, very particular and very precise.
I think that's a good word, elimination.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. And it does require sometimes a bit of precision.
Yeah.
Some cut things out. Mars in Virgo, cut things out that aren't working. Mars is a bit like a sharp blade in some ways. So that's interesting. On the 23rd of August, the sun will move into Virgo. And on the 24th, the day after, Mercury is at a standstill as the sun moves in. Ah, my God, it just clicked. Okay, I have to share something because this is really fascinating. On the 23rd of July, the sun moved into Leo and Venus in late Leo turned retrograde on the same day. So the sun entered Leo as Venus was almost at the end and she turned back.
Oh, wow.
The same thing is about to happen in Virgo, but with Mercury. Literally, over 2 days, as the sun is entering Virgo, Mercury stops towards the end and turns back towards the sun. Isn't that extraordinary?
Isn't it, though?
I knew that about the Venus, and I just spotted that about the Mercury. So it brings this strong focus to those signs.
Yes.
So Virgo, so Venus will still be doing her retrograde in Leo, but the real kind of power of that is beginning to lessen, and she will begin to appear again in the morning sky. So something has shifted.
Mm.
Then we turn our focus to Virgo.
Mm.
Virgo, the divine feminine, the goddess of purity, the energy of what is virgin and pure. Right? Virgin doesn't mean not having sex. Virgos enjoy sex as much as everybody.
Yes.
But the word virgin really means what is pure. There's a sense of purity, and that's why we feel this urge to cleanse in so many ways. Cleansing our auric field, like this is cleansing. What needs cleansing? You know? So that's really fascinating, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. And then on the 27th of August, Mars, the warrior principle, the masculine principle, leaves Virgo, where he's been cleaning up all his weapons, right?
Sharpening the swords.
Sharpening his swords, getting all the rust off,
Polishing off the armor.
That's right. That's right. Trying to, recover his health, mend his wounds. We'll move into Libra.
Oh, really? Okay.
The sign that's ruled by Venus, the sign of
Oh, my
relationships and
Yeah,
balance and
yeah.
harmony. So Mars will spend 6 weeks in Libra, where he's learning the fine art of negotiation. He can, like, rather than just charging into battle with his sword and club, ready to smash through, no, I think we need to sit down and negotiate and have a conversation and see if we can figure this out.
Yes, yes. Libra is going to attenuate that.
That's right.
That brute force.
That's right. That's right. Let's put our guns down, shall we?
Yes.
But Mars in Libra is also about fighting for justice and truth as well. And actively engaging in that, as many people who were born with Mars in Libra feel that quite keenly.
Yes.
They want to take some kind of action around what is just and fair. So that's coming through. Now on the 29th, just leading into the full moon, Uranus stations and turns retrograde.
Okay.
Right? So Venus will still be retrograde, Mercury will be retrograde, and then Uranus will turn retrograde. So that brings us to what 7 planets retrograde.
Oh gosh.
I know. And so when there's a lot of retrograde energy, we are doing a lot of deep revision, revising, returning, reevaluating,
Reorientation.
reorienting. That's right. Revising, going back over. A lot of old stuff comes up. Recall.
7 planets. That's the most we've had for a while, isn't it? Since
there was a period last year.
Last year, was it?
Where there was a period. It won't be 7 always, because Venus in early September will turn direct, and somewhere later through September, Mercury will turn direct again. But there is this period of a few weeks. There will be 7 planets retrograde.
Right.
That's not a time for us to try and push things forward.
Yes.
It's a time to really digest, to process, to review, revise, research, prepare, recover. We might need a sense of recovery. We're living in big time.
So that's from the 29th of August?
Yes, on the 29th, Uranus is stationary, meaning it's still at the 1 degree. Now, actually, around that whole week, we can really say he's stationary. When a planet is stationary, his energy is very strong.
Yes.
And Uranus is a very dynamic energy, and he's been very active, as we can see. And then on the 31st, at the very end of the month, we have the full moon. So in August started with a full moon. Was it the first or second day? I think it was. In the middle, coming up now on the 16th, is the new moon. And then on the very last day of the month, there's another full moon. And that will be the full moon in Pisces, opposite the sun in Virgo.
Right.
So it's a different energy. And that, but, you know, we're still in the Leo new moon cycle, but the energy of the full moon itself will be quite different.
Yes, yes. Wow.
So once again, a big month.
There's a lot happening.
There's a lot. But I will say around this Venus story, you know, these retrogrades, as I said, occur every 20 months, and these Venus star points, I won't explain the mechanics of it. Venus star points actually occur every 9 to 10 months, but the retrograde one is every 19 months. But this one is especially big, especially potent and important. And when she turns direct again, I forget the date, 4th, 5th, something like that, of September, and then leaves Leo.
Yes.
We're going to look back and see how much has shifted around all these issues to do with love, the heart, relationship, our values, money. She's a money planet, and our true sense of self and who we are. A lot is happening in this process.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Actually, we didn't really even talk about the money aspect, but we'll do that another time.
Yes, and that is significant because Venus, the ruler of Taurus, Uranus in Taurus, squaring the Venus, it's money and values and finances is a very key theme in all of this as well. And Leo, the metal that rules Leo, if you want to call it a metal, is gold. So there are themes around money, about wealth.
Yeah.
So on.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. A lot to process there. I'm going to take my time.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot again to digest.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, thank you so much for that. That's a few things I've got to enter into my diary.
Yeah. Yeah, we just note these things. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I know you've just had a workshop. Do you have any others planned coming up?
Nothing scheduled at the moment.
Very good.
So
okay.
That'll be something I'll be looking at probably as the sun starts to go into Virgo. I'll be looking at, you know, the rest of the year and what that might. We do have a weekend workshop, me and the women who ran the thing yesterday, a whole weekend in early December, but that's months away yet.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Okay, all right. And if anyone is interested in learning about shamanic practices or Reiki or say Shim, which I'm going to start teaching soon, or the Mune Key rites from the Andean shamans, then I teach that as well. So just pop over to my Body Light Center Facebook page and or my bodylightcenter.com website too. And your website, Babula?
Yes, just my name, babulaclement.com.au. And I just want to say you're a wonderful teacher, and I participate in some of Cheryl's offerings, and yeah, really, really fantastic. I've been having these wonderful shamanic journeyings and various other things that you offer. A woman of many hats, it's absolutely true.
Oh, thank you very much. That's very kind. All right, everyone. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, please like it, share it if you want to, and leave some comments if you want to. We always love comments. And subscribe too. So you make sure you get the latest upload of our astrology now. So until next time, thanks again, Babula.
Thank you, Cheryl.
And everyone stay safe. Bye for now.